Okay, we might as well get started. I hate to punish those people that have been punctual and arrived on time. So thanks everyone. My partner in crime, William, he's just here on the sideline here.
Hey there,
He's
guys.
going to manage the chats and the questions, so feel free to interact and engage with us as we go along. So a really big welcome. We're excited to have you here today. We love doing this webinar, and I'm sure you're going to find a lot of value and action-packed next 60 minutes. So it's not a boring webinar, and it's going to be different from anything that you've ever seen before. I can promise you that. So yep, today's a bit of a promise. We're going to look at how to unlock those boat ownership secrets and insider information. And if you're a new boater or thinking about it or new to Asia, then really this is going to be a moment for you and a promise that you're going to take away some huge value at the end of this 60 minutes. You might even have a boating breakthrough. That's kind of one of the name of the games. So what we're going to do with this, if you're searching for credible, easy to understand information and prices, what we're going to do in this next 1 hour is going to put your whole boat searching strategy into one page. And this is the blueprint that we have developed to help you unlock those boat ownership secrets. So I really want you to stay to the end. And if you do stay to the end, I'm going to send you this blueprint by email. And I'm also going to send you the 8 costly boat buying mistakes PDF that we have written up for you to take a look at. So hang around and pick up these at the end. You can send me your email and I'd be happy to send those out to you. So are you ready to get going? Okay, how many people have we got on now? Well, a few more joined in.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, good. Yep, we've got a good number now. So Simon's joined us and a few other people, so welcome. Okay, so boat ownership secrets unlocked. How to find the right boat at the right price without buying a lemon or making a costly mistake. So if you've failed at finding boat industry insiders who are willing to tell you honestly what's involved in buying and maintaining a boat in the past, it's not your fault. If you've been concerned in the past that you can't succeed with owners who are willing to tell you honestly what's involved in buying and maintaining a boat, you can put those fears to rest. Dishonest salespeople and brokers and untruthful owners do want you to think that you can't find out the prices, the costs, the maintenance, and the hidden risks of buying and owning a boat, or knowing the market, like what we call a boat boss, and to find these great value boat deals without them. But that's not true. That's not true. But if you've ever thought that those dishonest salespeople or untruthful owners want you to fail in finding out the bottom line about boat ownership and the costs, you're probably right. So we're here to show you how to uncover the full facts if a boat's sound or not, proper boat valuations, and the full cost picture of boat ownership and boat buying during this webinar. So my goal from this web class, we want to help people who want to find out the prices, the costs, the maintenance, and the hidden risks of buying and owning a boat. We want people to know the market like a boat boss, to be able to find those great value boat deals without spending a lot of additional cash on unexpected repairs, facing hidden costs that completely blow your budget. And then when that happens, how do you tell your partner? That's not a good situation to be in. The only way for you to find out the prices, the costs, the maintenance, and the hidden risks of buying and owning a boat and know the market like a boat boss is to find these great value deals is through industry insiders who are willing to tell you honestly what's involved in buying and maintaining a boat. And the only way to do that is through our blueprint to unlocking those boat ownership and boat industry secrets. So who am I? I'm the wife of a boat broker for more than 30 years. And that's a tale all in itself. And there's another story behind that and how that's been. But wife of a boat broker for more than 30 years. We owned and operated our own boat dealership in New Zealand for 11 years in the 1990s. And here's the strikingly handsome young man here. He's about 28 years old there, but this is kind of him today. So there's a little bit of a change in profile. William started there when he was 16 as an apprentice marine technician. We took over the business about 8 years later, and we built it into an award-winning dealership for sales and service excellence. We had brands and dealerships like Yamaha Outboard Motors, Stern Drives, Volvo Penta, Mercruiser dealerships, and a range of boats as well. We moved to Asia in 2004, and Williams worked for some of the largest dealerships in Asia. He was the general manager at Premium Nautical. He worked as a senior broker for Simpson Marine and also a senior broker for Princess Yachts. Myself, I'm a forensic accountant by profession, a fellow chartered accountant and compliance professional. And I left corporate life, Singapore corporate life in 2018 to focus on Basco after I got unexpectedly made redundant sort of a year before that. So that's why I've focused on Basco. It's the time is right. I've worked for Deloitte, I've worked for Thomson Reuters, and my last contract role was with Deutsche Bank. So a little bit more about our backstory. So as I mentioned, I was a boat broker's wife in small town New Zealand in the mid-1990s, was trying to manage the struggling boat dealership that we'd owned for 11 years. I was running my own tax practice as a chartered accountant in public practice. And after 9 or 10 years, we finally decided, or I decided, that maybe I would have a family after all, but I wanted to get it over and done with pretty fast. So we had 3 babies in 373 days. Yes, we had twins pretty soon, 8 days later after Sarah turned 1. So we didn't sit down for 18 months, and it was pretty busy to say the least. So a little bit more about the story. So I was watching boat buyers going from broker to broker, from dealer to dealer, yet they were still struggling to find what they were looking for, that honest, complete, transparent answers to boat buying questions. And then William would spend hours and hours and hours talking to people, searching for boats for people, coffee and lunches and, meeting after meeting. But they would still drift from broker to broker. And only very occasionally would he be successful in selling them a boat. I had to watch him worry and fret over not selling day after day and not making enough income to support his family. We eventually closed down this business after 11 years of toil and tears, and we lost everything that we had, including our family home. So this forced me to rethink the way the boat business and the leisure boat industry is set up, and I vowed when the time was right to start this over from complete scratch with a brand new model. So we moved to Asia, as I mentioned, and I was fortunate enough to work for some of these largest global brands. This allowed us to have regular and consistent income to raise our family, which was in total contrast to the income volatility of a boat broker. So that's the problem with this brokerage model. And as I mentioned, I got made unexpectedly redundant after 12 years in corporate Singapore. So while it was terribly inconvenient and it's caused us obviously a lot of readjustments, it also meant that the time was perfect, and the time was now, and that was 3 years ago. So this is about researching exactly what first-time buyers need, and first-time in Asia boaters, what they really, really needed. So the guidance and the support that's desperately missing from the industry and the business model. How to work with first-time boat buyers and new to Asia boaters, giving them exactly what they need. Complete boat ownership information, the full cost picture, warts and all. Independent and trusted advice and coaching about the entire boat ownership process, the boat buying experience, and what we call the boat deciding experience. So a boat decider is someone who's thinking, I'm trying to decide whether this is a good idea or not. So we help people with that decision, yes or no. It's about building a community with weekly postings, content delivery. We've gone to live events to meet up and work with potential clients, joint venture partners, and affiliates. So we kept on creating valuable new content, training programs, masterclasses to inform and educate our growing audience and our growing community. And then we decided to create a set of proven modules that allowed people, even beginners, to generate all the answers that they needed to make a good decision and move forward based on our proven model. And we call it the blueprint to unlocking boat ownership secrets. So now it can help anyone instantly take the boat ideas that they've got in their head, the questions that they've got in their head, the things that are stopping them, slowing them down, holding them back, making them confused, not being able to move forward, turn them into facts, and use those ideas to save money and risk by finding the right boat at the right price, but most importantly, making the best possible decision for themselves and their family. And in a lot of cases, the decision is don't buy a boat. So you're not going to see many boat brokers telling you that. So that's what we're here to do, is to help you with that. So how does this apply to you? If you're thinking about any of these things, that, my gosh, you know, something extravagant is buying a boat, it can be a bit confusing because it can be seen, and it is quite a big purchase. What about, not only shouldn't I do this, this is a crazy idea, I can't even mention it to my family, let alone, you know, so what a crazy idea. Why is the information so disorganized and difficult to follow? So there's no shortage of information on the internet, but it's not complete, and it's, you know, there's no clear path to get you from A to B. Why is there little or no price transparency in this market? It's not like the car market, it's not like the housing market. If you've noticed, there's absolute terrible price transparency. How do you know if you're making a good decision? How do you know if the boat's sound? How much does it cost to own and operate a boat? How do I avoid problems and unexpected risks and big chunks of money? Or maybe you're just simply interested in the boating lifestyle and want to find out more. So if any of those things are crossing your mind, then you're absolutely in the right place to find out. So to meet Troy. So Troy, so not only has this worked for me when we bought our first boat just 6 years ago, but here's a story about Troy, who was in the same position recently, and look at the transformation that he's had in just 6 short months. So he was a first-time boat buyer. He was an expatriate. He's been in Singapore a couple of years. He's got 3 kids. I think they're about 8, 10, and 8, 12, and 14. He was thinking about buying a boat, and he was insistent with us that he would be the hardest bargainer that we would ever come across, and this was of utmost importance to him. He initially had a USD $70,000 budget, which is about Singapore 100. It was a bit less initially, but he progressively increased it. But then he didn't know whether he wanted a fly bridge, no fly bridge, 28 feet, 48 feet. He had no idea what it would cost to own a boat. He didn't even have his license. So he was just browsing, and initially he didn't want to engage with us because he thought that we were brokers. But he soon realized that we would introduce him to the entire market and work with him through the 9 steps. So that's one of the things that we do, is we've got access to the entire market, and then we bring that to every person that's that we work with. So Troy was getting super excited. He'd got his license and he'd got his bonus. So he wanted to move really fast. So this was about maybe 6 weeks into us working with him. So this was a risk for him. So I sat him down and I pulled out the 8 costly boat buying mistakes. We were at about step 5 on the blueprint, but he was moving super fast. So I pulled out the 8 costly boat buying mistakes, this one pager that you can email me for at the end, and I'd be really happy to send it to you. And I stepped him through them one by one. Now his risk area was he was jumping in way too fast. He had to slow down and he had to finish the 9-step blueprint one by one. So it was funny sitting with him because he was very approachable and nice, of course, but it was a bit like, the school teacher sitting down and saying, now which of these 8 mistakes are you going to fall into if you're not too careful here, Troy? So it was all quite a lot of fun. So then what happened was William found a boat for him and negotiated for him an amazing deal. The 2 boat brokers that had this boat listed didn't even want to present the offer to the owner. They were too scared of what the owner would say. So William got the name of the owner and he contacted him directly. And do you know what the owner said to William when he called? William was on the phone to him and he said to me, are you the best news I'm going to hear all year? Do you have an offer for me? So that's what he said. Are you the best news that I'm going to hear all year? William said yes. He explained Troy's situation, his family, his dreams, his hopes, his children, the boating lifestyle, and his budget. The owner said, that's exactly how I was when I first started boating. That's okay, I'll take the offer. So yeah, it was quite amazing. But you know what the kicker was here? The kicker was about 3 weeks later, William got a call from another guy that had been searching for a boat. He'd been looking for the boat for quite a while. We'd known about him for about 6 months, but we hadn't been working together. You know, he was kind of doing his own thing. He asked William about the same boat. And William had said that it had just sold a few weeks ago. And he said, but I put in an offer to the broker. I'm so upset that I've missed out on this boat. And he kept repeating how upset he was. So he then said, obviously, he'd been working with a broker instead of with us. So that was really quite, obviously terribly disappointing for him, but the owner would have got a higher offer had that broker presented that offer to the owner, but they didn't, because often they're too scared of what the owner's going to say, especially when they've listed the boats and told the owner what they think it's worth. So Troy's family took delivery, and then Troy said to William, he said, I'm the hero in my family. My kids love me. My wife loves me. I never thought I'd own such a boat. I'm beyond happy. So we worked through all those 9 steps with Troy, unlocked those boat ownership and boat buying secrets before he bought, and he got the full picture and a deal of a lifetime. So that was pretty cool. So what are we going to cover? So let's dive into this. So we've got 3 secrets that we're going to cover. The first one is about boat values. So that's secret number 1. Secret number 2 is about boat costs. And secret number 3 is about getting misled or who to trust. So are we ready to go? Let's dive in. If you've got any questions, then feel free to put them in the chat, and William will help sort those out as well. So the first secret about boat values, the first secret is new boat buyers pay more than experienced boat buyers. That's the secret. That is the unsaid secret. So, but some people might think that it's not necessary, and you don't understand how finding industry insiders who are willing to tell you honestly what's involved in buying and maintaining a boat is necessary for me. So of course we come across this all the time, yeah? Let me tell you another quick story. So this is not at all uncommon, and this particular one happened not so long ago. So a client is selling his boat, and a broker wanted to show it to his friend. So he'd found out about it from an engineer who works in the marina. So the engineer in the marina knew about the boat. He told this other broker, and this broker wanted to show it to his friend. So he calls up William. And he says to Will, he says, I've got the deal all sorted. He said, the boat owner is going to sell the boat for $400,000 US. Now, this was an agreed reduced price that William, and the owner had agreed. My friend is going to pay $550,000, and all of us will make $50,000 each. I mean, Will would make 50 grand, the engineer guy would make 50 grand, and the broker would make 50 grand. He said, it's a great deal. He explained it to William, who promptly replied, I thought you said this guy was your friend. Overcharging him $150,000 doesn't sound like a good friend to me. And secondly, nope, this is not how this works. Needless to say, the broker's gone very quiet. Presumably, he's now working with a wheeler dealer who's more on board with his unethical plan. This is an example of what is routinely tried on in the industry with unprofessional dealers and middlemen. Here's another one just last week. Another boat owner called William. My friend wants to charter a boat in Phuket. Can you help me find him something good for 3 days and 2 nights with his family? He told him. How can we make it so that I make $1,000 and so do you? So, you know, there's all these friends that you maybe need to watch out for. But instead, William gave him the name of a charter broker that he used to work with at Simpson Marine. And he said to him, you work with him. I'm okay. I don't need to be involved here. Another friend, and the list and the stories go on and on. So new boat buyers pay more than experienced boat buyers. So you want to find industry insiders who are willing to tell you honestly what's involved in buying and maintaining a boat. You want to understand as much as you can about the small, closed, non-transparent industry and the practices that go on. First-time boat buyers think that they'll save money going direct to the owner and not paying broker's fees. But find a buyer's advisor or a buyer's broker to work on your side. Pay for the privilege, save megabucks, and then you get the fee refunded if eventually you buy a boat, because co-brokerage exists in the industry. So you can get this free, independent advice, and it's available, right? Also, sign up for courses where you can learn all you need to know to reduce the risks and yet keep that dream alive. So let me share another recent example of Mike and Sally. They were first-time boat buyers, and they decided to take the plunge and buy a houseboat to live aboard. We had heard via the grapevine that there was a potential buyer for a houseboat, and this particular houseboat had been on the market for a number of years. We'd previously worked with another couple who had looked at buying it more than a year ago, but once they went through the process with us, independently and thoroughly, they decided not to buy it in the end. We'd calculated the buy price according to their financial analysis and calculations. The offer that we made to the seller was some $200,000 less than the last offer that he'd turned down. Now, the houseboat market is complex due to a number of factors, both locally, regionally, and Asia focused. But there were 4 or 5 other houseboats on the market, both officially and unofficially. And we knew that this boat wasn't the best one or the best value for money. Unfortunately, we didn't get to meet them, and they purchased the boat directly from the owner. Now they're starting to realize that they've overpaid. They were ideal clients for that lucky boat owner who got to close them, right? So they were perfect for the boat owner, and perfect if there was a broker as well. And that's kind of why new people can pay more than experienced people, because the brokers and the owners are waiting for the right price to come along. And if you're a new person, you end up being that right price. And we don't want you to be that right price. We want you to pay the value and, you know, get the deal that the insider information is going to find and give to you. They didn't know the market well enough, they overpaid. So buying direct from the owner as a first-time boat buyer is often not a good idea. This particular houseboat, there was a previous deal on it. The buyer, another first-timer, paid $60,000 deposit direct to the owner. After the survey report came out, they decided that there was too much to be done, and they lost their $60,000 because the owner said, "Sue me, I'm not giving you the money back." So that's another reason to be really careful. So you might also be thinking here, I'm not understanding this here. I'm not understanding how knowing industry insiders who are willing to tell you honestly what's involved will pay for itself. Well, we did a survey a couple of months ago asking people what's the #1 boat buying question that they had, and we got more than 100 replies. Here's some of them. The questions are, how do I know who to turn to for help? You know, who to trust to turn to for help. Someone even said, I don't even want to buy a boat, I'm just curious. So that's fine as well, you know, it's all the learning is an important part of it. Help me to know if a boat is sound or what it's worth. How do I know if it's going to endure the storms of the sea? Meaning, you know, is it going to be seaworthy in a storm? How do I know if boat owners are deceiving me? How to avoid spending lots of additional money? How to know if the engine is in proper working condition and won't fail a few months after purchase. So here's the truth about secret #1. New boat buyers are a boat broker's delight and a boat seller's dream. So the market's so small, so unsophisticated and illiquid, particularly in Asia, Even boat brokers cannot accurately say how much a boat is going to sell for. So, but the truth is you can determine what a boat is worth by following a few straightforward and easy to follow steps. So you don't get taken advantage of and become the person that everyone is circling and waiting for. So that's what we don't want. So that's the truth about about boat values. Okay, any questions or comments? Well, have we got any questions or comments that we want to address here? Or
no, we're all good.
Okay, great.
Just having one person has to go and do some work. So,
okay,
yeah.
All right, so we're ready for secret number 2. Secret number 2 is about boat costs. So boat costs, here it is, boat costs and maintenance can be a nightmare for new boaters. You're not going to find people in the industry telling you this, but it's absolutely true. And it can be a real nightmare. It breaks our heart when we listen to boat owners that have maybe had a boat for 2 or 3 years and want to sell it because of this issue. So you might be thinking though, oh my gosh, boat costs and maintenance is too hard for me. Many boat buyers and particularly boat deciders think, I'll never be able to move past the technical stuff. I'm no good at technical stuff. And you know, that's a very valid concern. Let me share another quick story. So Shane, he was a first-time boater. They were a family of 4. He'd bought his first boat. Now he got such a good deal because he decided to take the risk and buy a boat as is, where is. So he got it at half value. It was a beautiful boat, and it had had a recent engine refurbishment come replacement. There wasn't, I don't have the clarity around whether it was a replacement or a refurbishment. Do you know whether that boat, was it refurbished engines?
Yeah.
Or, okay, yeah. So it wasn't replacement, they were renovated engines. He'd had a month of happy times and then engine trouble, quite major. But he was accepting of it. He'd had quite a big renovation budget in place when he bought the boat. Most of that was cosmetic though, you know, like new clears and covers and upholstery, painting, a bit of painting in the boat, some woodwork, etc. So he had a reasonable budget, but he'd sort of allocated it for cosmetic renovations, new fridges, etc. But luckily we worked with him through our maintenance masterclasses, and this is really excited about this. This is an after purchase up to 12-month support package. Most people only need it for 3 to 5 months, but we can do it for longer. So with this expert guidance and assistance, some really important introduction to the industry contacts and those people inside that are hard to find, the issues are able to be well worked through without blowing his budget. So yes, there is help available. It's not widely spread, but you know, we're starting with this new industry model, this focus on education, this focus on training. So you can learn the basics, and it's important to think about doing that. You do that either before you buy, then you learn about maintenance, or you can upskill after you buy it. And you know, it's really that first 3 to 5 months after purchase. You could you know, I'm really showing you this just to give you some confidence that there is some help available. So this is our boat maintenance masterclass outline. There's 9 masterclasses, goes for 3 months, and then as well as with walkthrough sessions of your own boat, so you can get that step-by-step guidance. So remember Shane, the guy that got the really good deal, that he bought the boat as is, where is. So that was an example of working through these maintenance steps and getting the right result for him. So some boat buyers and boat deciders might also think, I'm definitely not technical and this looks expensive. It's going to cost a bomb. I'm not experienced. How do I know if a boat's sound or overpriced? You know, I'm not a boater, so I'll get taken advantage of by unethical brokers and owners. And I'm not tech savvy, I can't find the information I need, and I'm not going to have enough budget. So those are all, you know, concerns that you might have. But let's take a look at Mike and Sally. So they were experienced sailors, professional couple. They were also expatriates. They'd done a lot of sailing on friends' boats, but despite their experience, they were stuck and unable to move forward on their dream to take a few years off work and sail around the world. there was a real fear that they wouldn't be able to make their dream a reality because their previous boat deal had fallen through and they'd lost confidence, as well as being really disappointed that that boat deal had fallen through. Now, he wasn't technical at all, not at all, but she was up for it, learning all she could, getting her hands dirty, documenting everything, and saying yes to the maintenance masterclasses. We worked with them, and it was fantastic to attend their boat warming party. They're pretty thrilled. They got their dream on track, as well as getting everything they wanted in a boat at the right price and quality. Much more confident, maintenance-wise. Their boat's now in Thailand, and it's getting work done to it before they set off. So really, really exciting for those guys. So the truth about secret number 2, it is easier and cheaper if you know about maintenance, absolutely. But you can learn the maintenance and the care routines. There are courses, coaching, and expertise available, but it can be very difficult to get your boat repaired in Asia. Yeah, the technical personnel and mechanical personnel, for example, in Singapore, the market's so tiny. In Thailand, of course, it's much bigger and it's a bit easier. Quality and deadlines can be a major issue. So, and if you're thinking about new boats, the other real truth around here is that warranty issues on new boats are often a nasty, unexpected surprise. We talk a lot more about this in our masterclass, but it's a very important area is the warranty issues. Some people in Asia regret buying a boat because of the maintenance. It's a tragedy, yeah? But there is a step-by-step blueprint to understand what the maintenance landscape is and what that landscape means to you and how you can navigate that. So that's the second question. So any questions or comments about boat maintenance being a nightmare before we jump into secret number 3? Anything going on, Will, on the question panel?
No,
okay, good. Okay. All right. So secret number 3. It's about getting misled and who to trust. The secret here is some boat owners are honest and transparent. Yep. So there are some boat owners that are honest and transparent. And of course, you want to deal with those people, yeah, and dodge the other ones. So some people might say around this, I don't know how to trust what they're saying to me. How do I rely on their maintenance records? Are they fake? Was it a cheap job that they did last time? How can I see what the seller is hiding from me and not get cheated? How can I be given care, courtesy, and consideration without deceit? Where to even start? There's no step-by-step guide. How do I get confident in caring for a boat? How to maintain it? How to find someone that I can rely on to work through this. So many different inputs from everyone and on the internet. So this is often quite a big challenge. There's so many inputs from everyone. So let me explain a little bit about this. So from our 30 plus years of experience of seeing people going from broker to broker, website to website, getting more and more confused, it is complex and unclear. There's no shortage of information on the internet about boats, but there is no clear step-by-step path to get from point A, which is the dockside, to point B, which is the sea. And here's a comment from one of our 100 plus respondents. He was actually an owner. He said, the boating industry is the most dishonest industry around. And we had a call with a Malaysian dealer yesterday, an ex-dealer actually, and he was saying the same thing. Okay, so let's look at an example of honest Daniel. So Daniel is a boat owner we've known for a couple of years. We'd helped him previously with a bit of advice on craft registration when he bought his sailboat. He's now decided to sell the boat, and we met with him a few weeks ago. And this is what an honest and detailed, to be fair, it's not just honest, but it's honest and detailed boat owner looks like. He'd compiled lists of the technical specifications, the inventory on the boat, all the invoices of the work that he had done since he'd owned it, and a list of defects or concerns so detailed that it was so impressive and transparent. Some examples of those were that he has to tap the rev counter screen because the needle was a bit sticky. There was a water stain on the mattress, and some tape that was holding the hood lining in place. So he'd put such a lot of attention to detail in this list of concerns and defects. So there are definitely honest owners out there, and you'll want to deal with those ones. But you might be thinking, you know, I still don't know how to own and maintain a boat, or care for a boat, or operate a boat, or how do I buy a boat without losing my shirt? How do I make sure I don't make a mistake and lose heaps of money? So the truth is that there are many ethical and transparent owners out there. And by following rigorous processes and procedures that are in the industry, like sales and purchase documentation, industry standards, if you don't shortcut these, it's actually quite difficult to get ripped off. So that's the truth. The problem is, though, is that you buy the wrong boat, or you buy something that you don't fully realize what you're getting yourself into. That's the problem. That's the problem. So, and brokers and dealers have been identified by some groundbreaking research to often be short or late in advising valuable information that you need to make an informed decision. And the reason why that is because they don't want to lose the sale by putting you off by telling you all the full details about the costs. So another thing, if there's an interesting middleman involved, beware, because you know that saying, birds of a feather flock together. So sometimes the owner is as equally interesting. So a really important thing with boating is trust your gut instinct on every level when looking at boat buying. Even if you're brand new, even if you don't know anything about the boat, trust your gut level, your gut instinct on every level. Okay, so let me ask you a question so far. Are you enjoying the webinar so far? Let us know in the comments that it's going okay for you. This is our son enjoying jumping off the back of our boat. This was about 5 years ago when we'd had it for about a year. So, okay, so what we've covered so far, we've covered about boat values, that new boat buyers pay more than experienced boat buyers. We've covered about boat costs, that those costs and maintenance can be a nightmare for new boaters. And we've covered about number 3, that some boat owners are honest and transparent, and how and who you can trust. So let me ask you a question now. Who wants to take things up to the next level? So what I want to do now is I want to share with you a little bit about how we work with some of our boat deciders and our boat searchers and our first timers. So, but I don't want to share this information with you unless you give me permission to do so. So let me know in the box, type yes or that you're okay for me to share this. And yep, we've got a yes here. Okay, yep, a couple more yeses. Oh yes, yep. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's just have a look at this next area. So I'm going to introduce to you a package of online coaching and software. So it's a 6-week boat ownership hacks masterclass series. So what is this all about? So the 6 weeks boat ownership hacks masterclass will help you find out the prices, the costs, the maintenance, the hidden risks of buying and owning a boat. You'll get to know the market like a boat boss and find some great value boat deals in less than 14 days without spending a lot of additional cash on unexpected repairs and, you know, those costs that blow your budget, and how do you tell your partner that? Here's what you get with the Boat Ownership Hacks Masterclass. It's the 9 full modules, the 9 full steps that I mentioned before. So there's 9 modules that we cover in 6 weeks of 1 hour. So it's a 1 hour weekly live Zoom call that covers secrets in the boat industry. So we've touched on a few of those today, so we dive into that. We cover value, about what a boat's worth. And also soundness. How do you know if a boat is seaworthy and sound and fit for purpose? The risk, you know, how do you balance the risk of cost and value and soundness? Module 5 is what does it cost? You know, we deep dive into 3 boat buying examples and to show you exactly what it's going to cost. You'll get the sticker shock early on, which is really important. Module 6 is unknowns. Will I get hit with unexpected large cash draining costs? And we go through that, right? We show you what those are likely to be. Maintenance, a whole module on maintenance. How will you care for it? And we've got a really good example of that. We go through a boat that's for sale and a big list of defects and how much they're going to cost. And then the last module is about this honesty. You know, are you going to get ripped off, and who you can rely on? Most people, by the time they get to the last module, they've learned so much that they feel that they're not going to get ripped off anymore, which is fantastic. So proof it works, because we've talked and worked with thousands of people over our 35 years experience in the industry. People move from unsure and confused to confident and clear. This is in your decision making. Am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? Confident and clear. Here's an example of Andy. He was based in Australia, and he had this great goal to buy a boat and then rent his house and his boat out for charter and Airbnb. He was going to live between the house and the boat depending on his bookings. So he came to us. He had all the usual questions about, you know, is it the right boat and how much is it going to cost? But of course he had all the additional questions regarding Airbnb, charter, revenue and profit and loss for the project. So we worked with him over a period of about a month or so, and he got quite a lot of clarity. But the final outcome will be not what you're expecting, but it's not that uncommon. He didn't go ahead with his boat purchase. Can anyone guess why? Can anyone guess why? Andy, and I'll give you a clue. Andy and his wife decided not to go ahead with the boat purchase. Is anyone gonna hazard a guess as to why Andy didn't go ahead with it? No, they didn't get divorced. No, what it was his wife got seasick. So they had to resolve that dilemma before they moved forward. With their plans. So who does this work for? This Boat Ownership Hacks Masterclass. So we have got different categories of people that we work with. It works for boat dreamers, those people that have always dreamed about owning a boat. By doing a course and moving forward, it helps keep the dream alive, and that education helps you learn how to own and operate a boat. It works for boat deciders, those people who want to make the best boating decision for themselves or the family. No, we're not going to do this. Yes, we are going to do it. This works for boat searchers, people that have decided, yep, we're going to have a good look at this, and we don't know what we're going to buy, but we're searching. Works for boat buyers who want to find the right boat at the right price. It works particularly for first-time buyers who have no experience and get lots of confusing inputs from everyone. It works for experienced boaters who want to understand how the Asia market works. So maybe who doesn't it work for? It generally is not for people that are experienced boaters. But having said this, we actually, in our last program, we had a guy that bought a brand new boat about 7 years ago. He had so much trouble in the 5 years that he owned this boat that he decided to do this course with us so that he could go into his next purchase with his eyes wide open. So it works for most people. Now, the number one reason why people don't get started, you might be thinking you can't get started because you're traveling, or not so much these days, or you don't know where you're going to be next month. But the truth is you can do this masterclass from anywhere. It'll also be recorded. So if you can't make a session, just simply watch the replay. It's a lifelong skill that you'll gain, and it's an experience that you're going to love. I absolutely guarantee it. So the 6 weeks Boat Ownership Hacks Masterclass is usually $997 US. So it's the online course, the weekly interactive Zoom webinar. We go through the 9-step roadmap. But we're going to add in a whole lot of interesting things to make this journey even more valuable for you. One of the tools that we are so excited about that we've got is what we call Bobbus. Bobbus is Basco's online boat buying and selling platform. This is the home of the online boat shows, and it's got boats for sale in one easy location. Example, and Singapore is the market that we've covered the most so far. 312 boats for sale in Singapore in one place, 68% more than Yacht World. It's the largest platform in Asia for buying and selling boats online. It's our personal database of boats for sale, all put together in one place for your exclusive access. This is not publicly available. It's only for clients of BASCO and boat owners. No brokers, no dealers get access. Neither do those people that are just browsing. It's just for our BASCO clients. So with this tool, you'll be able to find all the boats in one easy location. There's no need for you to search across 20 to 30 listing sites. You can quickly see what boats are for sale and at what price. We can help you shortlist boats easily. You can discuss them with your boat advisor. We bring boats to the platform for that review process. You can easily talk through the pros and cons of each boat, and you can see which boat has potential and which ones to steer clear of. So with Bobbis, you can get rid of Yacht World and Boats.com and iNautia and Trade Boats and Craigslist and Barton and Sold and AdPost and Carousel, Facebook Marketplace and Google Drive and Dropbox, because it's all in one place. That's our vision, is to get this across Asia, and we're starting one country at a time in Singapore, and it also includes boats that are not officially on the market as well. So there again, this industry inside information, we capture it for talking to our clients about. So yes, you can analyze all the boats in one place. Okay, I'll cover that. So you might be thinking, I can't use the platform, I'm not technical, but it's not a problem. It's dead simple to click on search. The boats come up automatically, quickly. You might be thinking, I can find all the boats for sale myself. Or you might be thinking, my friends know of boats for sale. So yes, you know, you'd get a coverage of 50 to 68% of the market by doing that, but you're not going to know everything that is available that comes from 35 years industry experience and our platform and our tool. Yeah. Okay, so I think I've covered that. It's not publicly available. Yep. Okay, so we're going to add that in, right? So access to Bobbis for the time of the program is valued at $297. So you're going to get the 6 weeks Boat Ownership Hacks Masterclass and access to Bobbis. So here's what some people are saying about the masterclass. It's highly recommended. We really walked through from the foundation and how the industry works, helped us understand our needs are at the moment, what the alternatives are. We got to know the ins and outs of how to buy and sell a boat and how to best to acquire our dream boat. So we're going to hold your hand through all of these steps with those Zoom calls. It's recorded if you can't make it. You're also going to get our Boat Buyers Academy. So this is something that we've been working on for the last couple of years. We'll give you 6 weeks access to the Boat Buyers Academy. So I had to go through more than 12 months of writing, researching, videos, case studies. I spent thousands of hours and money to get so much valuable content recorded online that's not available on the internet. But you won't have to do any of this research, because I'm going to give you access to the Boat Buyers Academy as part of this special deal. It's going to make it easier and faster for you to focus on the right type of information, answer all your questions in your own time and online, brings together a number of videos, questions, what we call nautical know-how. It's into one place, which makes it that much easier and faster to learn. You might be thinking that you can't use the Boat Buyers Academy because you're not buying a boat. Well, it's not an issue, because most of the content is especially for those who are still at the early stage of the boating journey, and it's not for experienced boaters. So it's for the dreamers and the deciders and the searchers and the first time buyers. So 6 weeks access to the Boat Buyers Academy valued at $147. So we're going to add that in as well. Total value $1,441. Also, you're going to get the answers to in a PDF to unlock the boat ownership secrets. So it's a PDF document that explains the 9 steps. It's the workbook that you follow along with the masterclass. You take all your notes and keep all your information and learnings all in one easy place. And you can refer back to it time and time again and in the future. You might be thinking that you don't want to start on this because you don't intend to buy a boat in the immediate future. It's a waste of time and money. That's not really true, because research, knowledge, and understanding is the first step of putting your dream or your goal into place. Without that, you stay at the dockside, wishing, wanting, and wondering, and then being vulnerable to making a mistake. So that's valued at $97. So we're going to add that on as well. And I'm going to add a couple of other things in for you. But before I do that, it was a really great experience working with William and Dione. They guided us through the difficult process and helped us in formulating our offers as well as our decisions. The service was tailored to our needs. They were able to listen, focus on the topics important to us, can really recommend. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to add into this is how to convince your partner to buy a boat. This is some online training and blog resource as well. So this is a program especially for couples and people that are wanting to get on the same page with a partner. There's hours of research gone into this. There's the first time boat buyer research is the basis of it. The journey to boat ownership, the research around that. It's about asking people, talking to brokers about what brokers call the domestic anchor problem. So that's sort of an industry term that, you know, you've almost sold this boat to the husband, but there's a domestic anchor, and that's a problem to getting the sale across the line. So I've spoken to brokers about this, about what they, you know, what their experience, so that we can put this into some ways of training and talking about it. So not to mention, yes, there was writing, recording, and editing. So this can help enormously help you move forward with some of the boating questions that you want the full answers to, because it helps keep couples aligned and on track in mutual interests, desires, and goal setting. So for example, we worked with Chen on the Boat Decider Bootcamp, actually with Chen, and we had a couple of really nice informal sessions with him and his wife aboard a boat, a big 80-foot boat here, where we, you know, just explained to his wife what Chen had been learning and what he'd been sort of studying. She was a bit concerned because she thought he was having a midlife crisis and he was going to buy a boat. Nothing could have really been further from the truth. It was more about him having the ability to you know, go through and to understand and to learn. So he said, I found it was good. What is presented is spot on. I got a much better sense of where she is as a result. Now you might be thinking, I can't use this because your partner is not really interested or is anti the idea. Now that's not true, because you can learn the research steps to take and understanding where you are and where your partner is on the journey to the boating lifestyle. This helps you move forward in your dream to find out more about that boating lifestyle, regardless of what stage your partner's at. Now, when you're ready, you and your partner can take the training together, or it can just be coffee. It can be very informal as well. Even in the future, we'll keep your space here. So this is valued at $597, including those sessions aboard those yachts. Yep, so this is, you know, the session was excellent. The material's spot on, as I mentioned before. So we add that on. So we've got the 6-week Boat Ownership Hacks Masterclass. So that's the 1 hour a week masterclass where we go through those 9 steps in 6 modules. Get access to Bobbus, which is the platform with the boats for sale. You get 6 weeks access to the Boat Buyers Academy. Get the answers to unlocking those 9 secrets. The access to how to convince your partner to buy a boat, that online training in the blog. Now, if all I did was do this, now I'm obviously not going to charge you $2,135 for this. But if I did charge you that, and what it showed you was exactly how to uncover the full facts, the proper boat valuations, the full cost pictures of boat ownership, would that be worth it to you? If all it did was got you crystal clear on your boat buying and boat ownership questions, the costs, the risks, the valuation, finding the best value boats, avoiding buying a headache and a lemon, would it be worth $2,135? If all it did was help you progress conversations with your partner or your spouse on the boating lifestyle, would that be worth $2,000? If all it did was show you a clear step-by-step path of the processes to take, the questions to ask, and the trusted people that you could rely on, would that be worth $2,000? So I had 2 choices here. I could make it cheap or I could make it valuable. And I hope you would agree that what I've presented so far might be valuable. So if you were able to find out the prices, the costs, you know, what would that be worth to you? What about if you could know the market like a boat boss and find those great value deals? What would that be worth to you? So the full value of this series is $4,997, but we've got this sort of regular price of $2,135 that I've just mentioned. But because you showed up today, I'm going to give you the special discount today because you're here with me live on this webinar. And so thank you very much for that. You showed up, you submitted your questions, you answered some questions. You're invited to be part of the next live Boat Ownership Hacks Masterclass. It's limited to just 8 people. We're starting later this month. You'll be able to get your questions answered at this live event. In the future, it's going to be a recorded session, but at the moment we're still doing it live. So jump in and take advantage of that. So today only, you're not going to pay $4,900. You're not going to pay $2,135. It's only $297 US today to jump into the next masterclass. Maximum 8 people. We've done them with 5 people. We've done them with 9 people. 8's good. We have husbands and wives come on board. So there's a link that William's going to copy and paste into the chat. So can you, maybe you can just copy and paste that one there into the chat so that you can take a look at that. So you've got 2 choices here. You can either continue to go round and round in circles with what maybe you've been doing that so far, or you can choose to do something different. Now I've got a guarantee for you, of course, if it doesn't help you with finding out those prices and costs, the hidden risks of buying and owning a boat, knowing the market like a boat boss, not spending additional cash on unexpected repairs, then I'll refund your money. So there's an absolute guarantee, provided you do the course to the end. And if you don't feel as though it's answered any of these questions, then absolutely get your money back. So the real question here, is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Even if it does half of what I've talked about today, it'll pay for itself in less than 14 days. Information alone, it's not enough to get you from point A to point B. As I mentioned, there's no shortage of information. It's not complete, it's incomplete, and it's confusing and all over the place. But I'm going to add one more thing in. So we're going to also give you access to a 30-minute in-person call with William, as trusted and independent boat expert, to chat through any issues or questions about boating at all. So we're going to add that in as well. So you'll be able to get all of those questions answered. Now you might be thinking that you don't want to talk to us directly because you're so far away from even buying a boat. But the truth is we're here to help you every step of the way, break through those boat industry secrets, the wheelers and the dealers, the unethical industry practices. A single call could save you thousands and thousands of dollars, and you could save face and making mistakes for and disappointing your family. So that's valued at $250. So we're going to add that on as well. So take a look at what we're going to give you for $297. I think the link is there, isn't it, Will?
Yes.
The link's there.
In the chat.
We would be really delighted to have you join us on this Boat Ownership, the next masterclass. We have a lot of fun on the masterclass. Don't we, Will?
Yep, we do. It's all good.
Huge amount of information.
Lots of people chatting and lots of information.
Yeah, and lots of good value. So you're going to get that 6 weeks Boat Ownership Hacks Masterclass, as I mentioned, access to Bobus, access to the Boat Buyers Academy, answers to unlocking those questions, access to getting your partner on board if and when you need that into the future. We hold that for you. And of course, your 30-minute call. So today only $297, limited to 8 people. This is your last chance. It's been fabulous to have you on board today. If you would like to get access to the 8 costly boat buying mistakes and the blueprint, please email me at dione.schick@basco.asia, and I will send that to you. So thank you so much for staying to the end. We really appreciate it. Any questions that you've got at all, just reach out to us. We'd be delighted to meet you and help you and work with you. So take care and bye for now. See you later.